Corey, would you ever drink a beer produced by an animal science company?
They don't really correlate, but somehow that's what we have here. Today we're going to try Kentucky Ale's Rye IPA.
Glub, 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 glub. Yeah, sort of the story behind this Kentucky Ales is a guy who was born in Ireland and went to school in England, made this animal nutrition company, was doing all this, from animal food and research and biotechnology, and then decided to go into the beer business and opened up a brewery and a distillery.
Yeah, and I'll give them credit. One of the cool things that they do is that everything they distill, then they put their beers in those barrels, so it's kind of like a whole self-sustaining ecosystem. But Kentucky Barrel Ale kind of is awful.
Awful.
And it's not just us who says it. You can look around and it gets terrible reviews. But we gotta be open-minded.
That's right. And I figure, how do you screw up an IPA?
Right.
There's some that are worse than others. But
they're pretty good.
We're going to give this a solid chance. My expectation is that it'll be good. We'll find out.
All right. Let's take a sniff. That's not a good start.
Well,
I don't get a huge alcohol fusel aroma. I do get some hops in a really weird way. It reminds me of 120, Dogfish Head 120, because it is kind of like a grassy, piney, hoppy aroma, but also you get this just big, sweet, malty kick as well.
Boom, bingo, nailed it. To me, it smells like long overdue IPA.
Yeah,
like long expired, past its heyday IPA, where it has now turned to the dark side and it's all malt.
Yeah.
I don't get a whole lot more. It's very sweet, caramely on the nose.
I do get a little of the bourbon. I mean, if you get really in there, you get a little bourbon background. But you're right. I
got to tell you, it smells to me, and this is going to be a hyper-local example, but maybe you've experienced something similar. It reminds me of that rainforest room in the aquarium at the zoo. It's sort of musty and humid.
All right, a little must, a little plant earthiness. I guess I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, open-minded.
Open-minded, because
we've had beers before that smell awful and taste great.
Exactly. Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go.
Cheers.
What is this? That went through. I'll give it credit for this. It went through a wave of different flavors. It was kind of a cascading effect. None of them were very pleasant.
Went through the 5 stages of grief.
At first, I was really hoping for a big hop kick. I was hoping for something to be hoppy, to be IPA-like, and then I figured it would round off into the like the bourbon-y kind of flavors. But really, it was kind of a nothing, and then into like this alcoholic bourbon.
There is a weird, lingering, harsh bitterness on my throat.
Yeah.
That's not the good type of lingering bitter. The good type lingers on the palate, inviting you back for more. This is lingering on my throat like the lingering grossness on your throat of NyQuil.
Yeah, like a medicine kind of. Yeah, there's a medicinal. That's a good call.
If I didn't know that this is a newer bottle, I would swear it's expired.
Yeah. I hear you there. It does taste like everything's faded out of it. It kind of tastes like watered down rye. Watered down rye bourbon. I'll say this. I can go in for more in order to analyze it and not be appalled by it.
Man, I'm really trying to pull out flavors, but it's kind of void of flavor.
I don't know how this is 10% alcohol. That's kind of a shocker to me.
Yeah, it's really not warm. It's not burning. I'll give them that. It's
smooth.
It's smooth. It's hidden. The ABV's hidden. It's definitely not on the disgusting level as a Culto, but I think if you rewind our video, the first expression says it all. That's not rehearsed. That's just reflection right off the bat, off of what we've tasted. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not a good beer. I'm curious to hear what you rate this.
Maybe like a 50, maybe like a 48, 50-ish.
Whoa, solid.
I mean, yeah. I'm not getting this again. Maybe that's a little harsh. I don't know. I'm just thinking in my head, like, compared to so many other beers we've had, this is so far down the list.
Yeah.
Though I think it's better than the regular Kentucky Bourbon Ale.
I'm going to go from a teacher's perspective here. I'm thinking of an assignment that I would receive that the effort was there, but it was still terrible. I would give this a solid D minus.
Okay.
Like a 69%. Like the lowest passable D I could give it, because I think that they at least tried. When you think bourbon barrel, I mean, typically that's up here.
Yeah.
These are not, and they're using that buzzword to get people, and it's just not. This is not good. There are so many better IPAs.
Mm-hmm. So for one of the very few times I won't recommend, if you see this on the shelves, to get it,
leave it there.
Leave it there. There's plenty out there. There's much better beers out there in the world. Or if you just want to try it and see if you agree with us, see if you disagree, leave those comments in the comment section below. Until then, always remember,
we're the Brew crew.
We'll review.
I'll brew for you.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm going to leave it here. I know that there are people out there who go for this thinking that this is what is going to help them get into craft beer. And I'm really upset about that, because I feel like, I mean, I have a friend who always orders the Kentucky Bourbon Ale. And if he likes it, that's great. Sure. That's awesome. But I know there are people out there who get it thinking it's something it's not.